cleanly, didn't... Yeah.
It's safe to say the Pickems are kind of screwed, but hopefully we can still get ourselves a goal. Now, before we jump too far into things, I just want to give a quick shout out to Skin Club, who are sponsoring this video, which is good for me, of course, but it's also good for you, because in addition to the in-game Pickems, you can also do your Pickems over on Skin Club, which will give you the chance to win some pretty cool stuff. As you can see, there's some knives and other skins to give away, and if you're the Pickem GOAT, you can even win yourself an Orp Dragonlore. It's free to participate, and you can even compete against me and some of the other content creators over on Skin Club, so if you're keen, check out the link in the description. Right, let's not mess about. Vitality straight in for the 3-0. Yes, everything has been absolutely shambolic so far in this major, and we're unlikely to potentially get what we expect out of yet another 3-0 slot. But if you're playing the percentages, if you're trying to play it smart, Vitality, there's no real argument against them. They have this massive win streak, haven't lost a series in forever. They are the safest choice for a 3-0 that you're going to get. Now, when it comes to the rest of the picks, I think it gets a little bit harder. For me, I like to go with one sort of quote-unquote super obvious 3-0 pick, which in this case would be Vitality, maybe in the same vein as something like a Falcons and a Heroic from Stage 1 and Stage 2 is concerned. And then something that's a bit more of a wild card, so that if you don't get both of your 3-0 picks, you still have a bit of a better chance of getting things sorted in the 3-1 and 3-2. So the teams that I'm looking at there, and again, this is going to sound kind of wild, is maybe someone like a Liquid, maybe someone like a Na'Vi, someone like an Aurora. A team that, if they don't go 3-0, also actually kind of has a chance of actually getting eliminated, so it doesn't screw up your 3-1 picks. I think I'm actually going to put Aurora in there, just because I feel like, yes, they have had a pretty poor run of form more recently. There's actually a little bit of a better chance for them to make a 3-0 pick, but there's still about as equal of a chance as someone like a Na'Vi and a Liquid to maybe actually get knocked out without going 3-1 and 3-2. So I have a little bit more faith in them than I do in Na'Vi and Liquid to potentially pull off something like a 3-0 start here. So that'll be why I go for them there. Maus, Spirit, Mongols, I don't think anyone's going to be arguing against them as a team that should advance. Frankly, any of these, probably not a bad shout even for a 3-0 pick as well, but I just kind of think that they're maybe a little bit of a safer choice to go into the 3-1, 3-2. Realistically speaking, there's a very good chance that you're going to get at least some points out of these guys in the 3-1, 3-2. Here, though, is where it gets a little bit more difficult. We've still got another 3 teams that we have to choose to advance. We've also got to choose our 0 and 3s, for which I don't honestly really think that there's a super obvious choice here. People are going to look at Legacy again, but, I mean, look at what they did in Stage 2. People are going to look at Lin Vision again. Asian teams don't go 0-3, apparently. So, are they an easy one to put in there? Maybe not, and I'm not going to be making that mistake again. So it's actually really hard to choose the 0 and 3s here for me personally. I think I might even just put an Amiga. Like, I think they were a solid enough team in Stage 2. I don't really have any arguments against them, actually. It's just that I think, again, maybe they don't quite have that same pizzazz almost maybe as what a Legacy does. And again, a Lin Vision, I'm just not picking an Asian team 0 and 3. Sorry, I'm not going to do it this time around. Who's the other 0-3? I think maybe G2 is actually not a bad shout here. We haven't really seen them, performing too well. How are things going to go with this new roster? Question marks obviously around that. So other options, again, like I said, Legacy, Lin Vision, maybe Pain. I don't know, but Pain looked really good in Stage 2 as well. So look, honestly, pick what you want in 0-3. I think that one's actually kind of a hard one to call. I feel like the way things have been going so far at this Austin Major, you could literally put anyone in 0-3 and you might even have as good of a chance as if you put them anywhere else. Like Vitality, notwithstanding, probably anyone else can go in 0-3 at this point and you might be able to get yourself a point. So that's what I'm going to sit with. Don't look too hard into it. I'm basically on for a silver coin at this point, if even maybe a bronze. As far as the other 3 teams that are going to go through here, I think Team Liquid actually still a pretty interesting prospect. I like the addition of Shuei. Yeah, they didn't look amazing necessarily with him going back to somewhere like a Melbourne, but they did make it to playoffs. They did manage to push Mongols in that playoffs game as well, even on land. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I still want to see, what more they can do, but it's kind of the same as what I said about Pain in the last video, where it's like, you've had a little bit of time to work with this new roster and see what you can put together. So I'll give them a little bit of a shout. I'm almost tempted to put one of the Stage 2 teams in here. Maybe be it a Pain, maybe be it a Furia, potentially a VP as well. VP and Legacy both being the 3-0 teams. Could they replicate that? I'm a bit of a VP hater, to be quite honest with you, so I'm not sure that I'm going to be going for VP here. And Legacy, I think it's probably time for them to end this dream run, so I'm not such a fan necessarily of Legacy here. I think you've actually got a better chance with someone like a Pain, someone like a Furia. I think both of those two teams actually look really, really good. I'm going to go with Pain? Am I going to go with Pain? No, I'm going to go with Furia instead of Pain, I think, personally. Furia did look a little bit better. Yes, it's a bit of a goofier kind of looking lineup. Pain did look great as well, though, I have to say. So I wouldn't begrudge anyone for putting Pain through. And then I see FaZe here that I still haven't spoken about. Look, I'm going to put FaZe in. I was watching that last game against MIBR just this morning before doing these Pickems here, and I think, there's still enough X Factor, there's still enough star power there for me to think any of these matches that they play is going to be winnable. Simple's looking really quick with the AWP. Yeah, he's looking a bit lost, but like you put him in a position, you put him on a bomb site, and you say, shoot the guys that come here. He's going to hit some shots. I think FaZe, it's going to be hard to go past them. So actually, I don't mind how this is looking here. Again, bearing in mind, look, Aurora, that's a bit of a wild card pick. There's every possibility that they end up going out without even making a 3-1, 3-2 at this stage. I think, another argument could be Liquid in that position as well. It's more of a strategic play, I guess, rather than do I actually think they're going to go 3-0. If I was picking the two teams that I thought were going to go 3-0 here, it would probably be Vitality Mongols or Vitality Mals. But I'm just worried about, potentially screwing myself over in these 3-1, 3-2 picks, actually. If, say Mongols loses a BO1 or, Mals versus Vitality ends up happening in a BO1 or something like that. Like, I think that's a very real possibility for these kinds of teams. So I'd rather actually just have them in the 3-1, 3-2 picks, to be quite honest with you. The biggest one for me that's kind of a concern is the 0-3s, but just not putting Limvision there. Sorry. I feel like Limvision's the obvious choice, but I'm just not going to do it. So I'm actually happy with this. Is it going to get me a diamond coin? Is it going to get me a silver coin? Well, it's gotten me the silver coin there, as you can see. Is it going to get me a gold coin, really, is the actual question? Maybe, maybe not, but we'll find out. Hey guys, just at the end of that video and heading into 2025, I want to give a massive shout out to Jean, who has been a big supporter of mine on buymeacoffee.com/elfishguy. She's been a member for over 12 months. And if you'd be interested in supporting my content and getting this content grind going, then head over there as well and check it out. Thank you very much.